Welcome inside to Archie Browning Arena. I'm Richard Guzman. Melissa Saligo is alongside me. Draw 3 action is underway here in the BC Men's and Women's Curling Provincial Championships. Our feature match tonight will be on Sheet E, Kolomaya versus Richard. They've just started here, but obviously there's a lot of dynamic here. Some of the curlers curled together last year in provincial championships. That team appears to have split all over the place, Melissa. Now we see the them facing each other here in this important draw through.
Hey, Richard, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here today, as you said, with some of the mix-up that's been going on. And, yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of rocks in play to start this game right off.
Yeah, so you're looking now at the second for Team Kolomaya, Josh Miki, throwing second rocks here as part of this team. They played earlier today, a big win for them earlier today against one of the younger teams in the field, Team Fenton, to get off to a 1-0 start. The way it's working here in early draws for the men's, those teams ranked 5 to 12, played off earlier. Those teams 1 to 4 going by. So today will be the first chance to get a look at Richard as he's attempting here to replicate some of the success. Obviously, he's had a lot of success in this tournament in the past, but that success he had a few years ago, heading to the Brier and also getting all the way to the finals last year, losing to the Goche rank there, which is now represented by Captain Schneider. So lots to watch as we get started here in Let's go through the teams for you. So you're seeing Daniel Lenzik for the first time, the second for Team Richard. The lead is Connor Dean. The third is Richard Drell. The skip is Jeff Richard. He is someone who is very familiar to so many here. 3 Briers, 2010, 18, 21. Won the 2010 men's as the skip. Won 2018 men's as a third. And won 2021 with Brent Pierce. The team for Kolomaya, Meister, second, Josh Newton, third, Cody Tanaka, and the skip is Jared Kolomaya. Kolomaya and these 2 last year, both curling alongside Luke and Pierce, that team that ended up finishing second in the province. Miki now throwing his stone, and we already got, as you mentioned, a bunch of rocks in play as we start quite early on here.
Yeah, these 2 teams are very aware and very probably concerned about their opposition right now. They do have to find a way to beat each other. And honestly, with both teams liking so many rocks in play, it's going to be very busy out there right now. And it's all about the angles in this first end and trying to establish who's going to do what.
And this is a triple knockout tournament. We're still very, very early, but getting wins early clearly very important. The easiest path to get to Sunday is to win that A division. And, that starts for some of these teams tonight on this draw. And for Richard, yes, Kolomaya curls on the sheet next door, but they've been on this ice. They played on this ice once. For Richard, this is their first time. Yes, they had to practice yesterday, but playing in a match here on this beautiful arena ice here at Archie Browning as well.
Yeah, and actually, Jeff Richard and his entire team have been here a lot of the day because of that very reason that this is their first game on the ice. So they came and watched a little bit of the morning draw. They came and watched a little bit of the afternoon draw. And they just wanted to get a lot of time, see some of the paths, and ensure that they know exactly what they need to do in order to go out there and play to the top of their performance this evening, pardon me.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was watching Corey Chester's team earlier. They pulled off a big win right on this sheet here over Montgomery's rink, and Richard was sitting a few over for me to his team, and they were timing all of the shots. They were watching, as you described, the lines here on this ice to try to get a sense for what they should experience here. So Kolomaya now throwing, and if memory serves, he's the skip that he throws third stone for the team. So he's up here with his first stone, the fifth rock here in the first stone.
Right, and Jared is very, very good at throwing the heavy weight, as you can see from there. Pretty much made everything go away. He's very good at the up weight.
Apologize for some early technical difficulties. It's early in our week too, Melissa. We're getting a sense of the ice too up here. So all of these things will be wrinkled out as we work our way through the week. The first stones now for the third from the ranked Richard Krell. Again, new to this team, second for Robillard a year ago. That team had some pretty substantial changes. So he jumped on with the Richard team, and they're ranked 34th in the country coming into this, the third ranked team here in British Columbia. So far this season, heading into tonight, a 16-12 record. And these teams actually played each other only once so far this season, all the way back at the beginning of the year at the Prestige Hotels event. And Richard beat Kolomaya's ranked 6-5. It was the only time these two teams faced each other. So yes, they all know each other very well, but in this iteration of the teams, the first opportunity for the two of them to square, or the second opportunity this season for the teams to square.
And one of the things we noticed earlier, Richard, is specifically a draw weight. You know, both these teams have played lots on the arena ice that we have here with the Crow BC Rocks, but this ice specifically is about 15.5 seconds from hog to hog. It is extremely fast. So it's really important for these teams to grasp that draw weight early. That's going to be a difference maker in this game.
Kolomaya there just cleaning things out, taking out his own guard, it looks like, with that hit, peeling it off there. And Richard's now taking a look at what he wants Richard Krell to throw. He's currently sitting shot rock. What sort of shot is he looking at here with 12 seconds?
It looks like he's just throwing, trying to pick that red one off the blue. He'd love not to be able to touch his blue stone.
He's telling him to get off at the sweeper. So they like the line there. They're just cleaning it a little. Now they're coming heavy on the curl side. And he's able just to peel that one off, just as you described, Melissa. And it's going to stick around.
Oh, wow.
It's just going to stick around in the back. So it doesn't get it all the way out. And that's going to leave some interesting options here for Cody Tanaka, who's going to throw these last stones. You can obviously hear a lot of noise going on. This is very busy tonight. All 5 sheets are going. As I mentioned, 4 men's matches in total. But there's one women's game, part of the round robin going on. Taylor Reese Hansen against Holly Hoffelli. That one's going on D. And once we start getting some scores, we'll make sure we give you updates of those scores throughout. But Tanaka now with his first rock for the Kolomaya rink here in the first.
Chance to hit and lie too. The goal here not to group your stones together, so you don't give Jeff Richard an opportunity to play an easy double, and I think that's a pretty good spot there, Richard.
Yeah, so they cleared that stone out, moves it over a little bit. Now Richard's going to take a look. Is this the opportunity now, Melissa, to go for that double right off the hop, or is he setting something up for his last stone? What sort of options is Jeff Richard looking at?
I think Jeff is going to try and hit and roll behind the guard, and if he can stay shot rock, he still has a chance to set himself up for 2 here.
That's obviously the goal. Put those points up on the board. Still checking out the ice, but we saw it was interesting earlier. Some big scoring games and a few where it was a little bit more cat and mouse as the teams battled those runs against each other. So Richard's first stone is off. The hit, and it just sticks around there. Nowhere really to hide with it. So it looks like Tanaka will be looking at a similar shot as he just threw in his first.
Yeah, so ideally now with Jeff Richard with the hammer here, the idea for Tanaka is they want to hit and roll away. They want to make sure that there's no double possibility for Jeff Richard, double and a blank. So ideally, a win for Cody Tanaka here is to put this Brock in a spot where it forces his opposition to have to take 1 point here in the first set.
Tanaka's stone is off. They're getting the sweepers right off it here, so obviously they like the way it looks. Now the curl side on for the sweep.
Great shot.
Tucks it in behind a little bit of that guard, but the two aren't lined up. So does Richard have a shot here, do you think, at knocking those two out and getting that blanket?
It looks from our perspective that you can maybe see all of that red one, but no matter what you do, your shooter would stay. So you pick the easier of the two shots, the higher percentage shot, and that is simply the draw to the forfeit.
Richard now, the lefty, his final stone here in the first end. Kolomaya rink sitting 2. Richard with hammer. Brushers on it, on the sweep, on the curl side. Now they're both on it. It looks pretty good, and that's going to settle in there for 1. So through 1, Jeff Richard leads 1-0. They went out, got their 1, but clearly they were chasing a little bit through that whole end as they never really had an opportunity, as you described, to get to that 2.
Exactly. So now, when you get that hammer, that really important hammer in the first end, you obviously want to try and score 2. But they got their 1, and now it's kind of a cat and mouse game. What's going to happen here in the second end?
Crowd starting to fill in here at Archie Brown. It was incredible to see this afternoon. Afternoon's Raw, first day, a few hundred people here in the Squamalt. Clearly this community, the Victoria community, getting behind this event as we build up. But obviously lots of tickets available, so go on that Curl BC website, come down to the venue here at Archie Browning in Esquimalt. Come join us in person. It's going to be an excellent week into the weekend. We go 9 to 7 each day right up. Changes a little bit on Sunday, but that's the expectation through the next few days, and there'll be lots of opportunities to see this amazing show. Nicholas Meester now is getting lined up. The lead for Kolomaya rink. He is one of those that was part of the 2021 Briar team, along with Jeff Richard and Brent Pierce, and is now found home on his new team. And they're still getting their footing a bit. For them, a bit of an inconsistent year. 49th now ranked in Canada, 12-9 their season-long record. But the hope is that we're at the point where we're starting to peak by the time we get here.
Exactly. Yeah. This is where you want to peak. This is where you want your top performance. So we're going to see it again here, Story Rich. We're going to see it again here. So because Jeff only got a single in the first end, he wants to put the pressure on Kolomaya here in the second. So that's why we threw the center guard. Kolomaya Nick Meister makes a perfect shot to the top 4, and now it's all about the angle. So Connor Dean trying to put one right on the corner of that red stone in the top 4.
Beautiful throw by Connor Dean, putting it pretty close to right up on that red, but we'll see how much they see here. Again, part of the dynamics here, Connor Dean, a former BC junior champion, and his teammate when he won the championship, Josh Meeky, who's playing on the other side of things. You know this world very, very well, but it's funny to me to see all these people who are teammates and friends and they square against each other in the Provincial Championship.
And the funny thing is, after the game, you don't know who's playing with who. Like, they're all such good friends. So pretty good shot there by Connor. It did over curl. They just squeaked it by. And Nick Meister follows up with a fantastic shot. good pair by him to get his team set up here in the second end.
Yeah, so a little bit of separation after Meister's shot there. They're sitting two at this point, obviously early on. But to be able to stack those two up there makes it a little bit more challenging for Richard to get it. So, what sort of shots are they looking at here as they line up the shots for second here for Daniel Wenzel?
Well, originally Jeff was looking at some way of maybe tapping those redstone, but there really isn't an opportunity to do that, I don't think. So right now it's all about setting yourself up for later in the end. So Jeff is going to try and put one right on the inside, the center line side of that redstone just thrown by Nick Meister. So this is Dan Wenzik really trying to over curl this one. But this one looks like it has a little extra weight and it's running very straight.
Just letting it just catches the red and ends up just in the 4-foot there. A little bit off where they wanted, but now Kolomaya is taking a look at whether it's going to remove that stone. What are you looking at here, Melissa, as the possibilities for this one?
Yeah, that isn't really a good result for Team Richard right now. It's maybe second shot, but it's not going to stay there for very long. Kolomaya could easily hit it and try and flop inside and sit 3. But right now, he's all again with the hammer. He's trying to set himself up for a little bit later in the end. So he's going to come in right on top of his redstone again. And if anybody hits it, it's going to probably get rid of most of the blue. So this is a setup shot for himself, trying to freeze kind of to the pocket of the red and blue, that top 4.
How big of an advantage is it at this point, having already been on the ice today? The fact we're early in the tournament, does it make any advantage for Kolomaya that they already curled in a match today compared to Richard stepping on for the first time?
It's an advantage. You got to see maybe, you got some slides in, I guess, more than anything. You got some slides in, you got to feel the ice, you know what it feels like underneath your slider. But really, it comes down to, can you make the shots when you need to make them, right? And that's what this is about. And right now, Kolomaya is playing pretty perfect end here with the hammer. So big shot here now for Dan Wenzik. He's going to try and run that blue one onto the red and at least try and spill. I don't know if he can spill 2, to be honest. So he might be able to spill 1 for sure, maybe 2, depending on how he hits this.
Yeah, Josh Meekie with that beautiful shot there, lining up all 3 basically right along that T line. Wenzik with big weight coming out of the hack. Dean on it now.
Oh, what a shot! Incredible shot by Dan. Holy smokes, that's great.
Yeah, big weight, run back, moves all the stones around, gets rid of 2 of them. When we're all said and done, Blue's sitting 1, but it's obviously changed the way that this end is set up here. As Kolomaya gave a little bit of a shrug as he looked down to reorganize things after 3 beautiful shots, and now they have to restart.
Exactly. So, I mean, they could look at running the blue one in, but Jared's very comfortable right now. He's just he knows he's second shot at the back, so he's gonna try and corner freeze to that blue stone top 4, again, setting up an angle that's favorable to him. You don't want to bounce off here for Josh Mickey, though. You just want a corner freeze. This looks like it's very good. Perfect shot by Josh Mickey.
Josh Mickey, obviously part of one of the great curling families in this province. You see a lot of those familiar names in and around this event, and amazing part of this sport is those traditions tied to family and continuing along those family lines. Richard Bell with his first now. What is he looking at here?
I think he's trying to tap the back one out, so just to remove the 3rd shot stone. I'm actually not sure if that was the call, Richard, to be honest. I think he was trying to play a freeze on the top one, and Richard just threw that about 10 feet too heavy. A little mistake there.
Yeah, Jeff Richard made a quick turnaround. Not what he was hoping for on that one, and we'll see if the Kolomaya rank with Jared Kolomaya throwing rocks now can start rebuilding some of that work that they did earlier that Daniel Renzik undid with that beautiful hit run back. So what's Kolomaya looking at here? What's Tanaka got? What's it called?
I think he's playing probably a backline-ish weight, and if he can hit what he can see, he should be able to pop red onto blue, pop the blue one out, and roll his shooter towards the other balloon stone on the edge of the 12-foot. So back line to Hackish. Got to get by that center guard, though. Got to get by the center guard.
Both of them are on, and now they just sneak it by. Beauty shot as they sneak by that guard. The Blues sticking around a little bit there, but they're able to stick it right by and are sitting one red is at this point.
Yeah, I think if Jerry had about 5 feet more weight, he would have been able to hold that more and punch that blue one out. So chance here now, though, for Team Richard to try and double these red ones off. They can maybe even catch the third red one if you hit it right, just on the center line side. So I imagine that's what they're trying.
Well delivers it, sweeper on it right away there. Renzik is sweeping hard, easing off now. Now Dean's on it. It gets one, gets two, jams on the back one. So just one, and ends up with red still sitting one here and another red jamming in the back.
Yeah, shocking there. That I thought for sure that one would at least get 2 of the red ones out. So interesting enough, we're not sure who shot between that blue and red that's over on the side 12-foot. They know, but they didn't tell us, so we'll have to guess.
So Tanaka's now lined up. So what are they looking at? Is this a hit and roll situation to try to get this shooter stone towards the tee line?
The ultimate end goal here for Kolomaya is to get 2. So he has to decide whether hitting it on the nose is good enough for his 2. He'll be sitting 2. Maybe rolling a little bit out, but there's not a lot of room to do that. The worry is if you roll it towards the center line, there's a potential for that run back double again. So it's really trying to find a spot where Jeff won't be able to access getting the double on both red stones.
Kolomaya's rock delivered. One sweeper's on it here. Meister.
Looks like they're aiming for nose. Nice shot.
Jeff Richard quick to suggest that hit and move his undercover there. So is that what Jeff Richard's looking at here?
I think Jeff is playing the hit and roll towards the center line. Number 1 job getting rid of the second shot stone. Number 2 is perfect getting a roll towards that center right in behind the blue and red just on the left of the center there.
Jeff Richard now with his first in the second. Richard leads 1-0 here. Team just cleaning it.
Really close here. Oh, what a shot by Jeff Richard.
Beautiful
beauty.
Shot. So Jeff Richard now sitting shot, fully buried behind both of those stones in the house.
Yeah, that was amazing. Their hit rolls are so hard. You have to be so precise. But great weight choice there by Jeff, and just a phenomenal call by Crook.
Tanaka and Kolomaya are getting organized here in the house. Quick look around. Valley up 1-0 over Korea Wisconsin. The sheet 1 over. Chester and Pierce over on C. Still 0-0 after a blank in the first. Pierce is into his skip stones now in the second. Over on B. Schneider up 1-0. They are the skip stones down there as well. And Cam DeYoung up 2-0 over Robillard. After 1, DeYoung had a handle there, and he's into his skip stones, throwing his first his second in the last over on sheet A. But back on sheet E here, it seems like they've made their decision. And Melissa, what are they going for here? For his first stone, the skip rocks here for Team Kolomaya.
So they talked about it, and it looks like they're going to try and play a very flat double. So they're going to throw the out turn, basically hit where the broom is, and Cody's going to try and come straight across and push the shot rock stone off to the side. Very difficult shot, but very makeable. Like that. Oh, oh, it's spun back in, I think, Richard.
Yeah, blue still sitting shot there. Oh no, it looks like red at the top of the floor is shot, although it's hard the angle that we're at. We don't have the overhead view here, but it's close with that blue one spinning back. So Richard's taking a look. What do you think he likes here, Melissa?
I think Jeff is just going to play the straight nose hit blue onto red. He'll be sitting 2. He might even catch the other stone that's back 8 foot there. But the key here is that he's sitting 2 after the shot, force his opposition to take a single point.
Jeff Richard with his second in the second. Final stone for Team Richard. Kolomaya with the hammer here in 2. Richard's rock is on the way. Sweeper's on it. Wins it.
Shot.
Gets rid of it, and it looks like blue may be sitting 1, maybe 2, but the key is here how close those 2 stones are, and that's going to obviously determine what Kolomaya calls here for Tanaka. What's your sense between the red and the blue there? Which one do you think sitting second?
I think blue is 2. I think Jeff probably wouldn't have played that unless he was guaranteeing himself 2. So he's probably sitting 2. So for Cody Tanaka now, it's a draw to the forfeit for a single, or just a nose hit for a single. And I think he's elected to play the hit.
Tanaka stone has been released. Sweepers are on it. Both of them to hold that line. Well, and Richard are taking a close look at this one. And it's right on the nose, and that's going to mean 1 for red. 1-1 through 2. They take a quick look at those evidence, but it's pretty quick to make that decision. We have a change in score over on B. Norbert putting up their first point. So it's 1-1 between Kathleen Schneider and Norbert. Schneider ranked the defending champions, although Kathleen Schneider competing in the BC Provincial Championships here as a skip for the first time. Joining this rink after Jack Goche left to join Kevin Cooey's rink in Alberta. The rest of the team the same: Sterling Middleton, Jason Ginger, Alex Horvath. For them, they play the curling rink, so some home rink advantage here in the capital region. We're off here in 3 on E. Seeing if any other scores have been put up. There's a change in score over in C. After a blank in the first, Brent Pierce has put 1 up on the board over Corey Chester. Chester now has hammer in 3. A blank over on A between Robillard and DeYoung. So Campion still leads 2-0 in Robillard. Clementine now with his first, so they're just getting their legs under them a little bit. Early on, obviously, Melissa, what's your sense? Is this what you expected in terms of getting walking play, starting to suss each other out a little bit?
Yeah, I think these two teams are going to continue to go after each other, Richard. I think regardless of who played what earlier, I think they both feel very, very comfortable with the ice conditions right now. They're very comfortable with weight. They're um, pretty good. Like they're just getting by guards by a couple of inches and making fabulous shots. And I think this is going to be the way we're going to be watching this entire game. I'm excited.
Yeah, so guard a little bit off the center line, but pretty close, and then getting that one curled over to Barry right behind it. Yeah, an incredible shot on that last time to work out by Dan Wenzel to really disrupt what had been a really great start for Kolomaya's rink as they had established those three beautiful stones right along the center line. And we'll see as we get this one set up, how quickly things can change with such a good shot. So Meister second is off, and sweepers are on both sides. He's there at the far end of the rink from us now, and it looks like with a little bit of big curl. Beautiful shot, just tucking it right there on the floor. It doesn't look like does it? Just to give you a sense, obviously a lot of amazing work's been done here at Archie Browning Arena to get this ready for curling. Cody Hall was telling me he had slept something like 2 hours over a 72-hour period. This ice prepped and leveled as part of the ice deck team here doing the work for Curl BC. And now we're starting to get that test. And we're in the corner of the hockey arena here, right above E. But, they're now curling to the far end. So it's tough for us to judge a little bit with these hockey glass up with some of these shots, but we're going to do our best as that one sails on a little bit. Dean Stone heading into the back foot there. Back of the that's a little bit wrong for what they were hoping for, or are we saying that starting the season like
Yeah, that one just a little bit deep for Richard for sure, and that gives Kolomaya an opportunity to actually throw the exact same shot he did on his previous one. So if he could ever get one behind those two guards again, I think we're going to probably see Jeff Richard maybe having to peel here and open things up.
Josh Mickey now with his. He's looking to get that stone to go. They've got one sweeper on it right away. Meister on it. Curling late. And it looks like it's just going to settle right in front of that blue stone. Beautiful shot there. Not a lot of separation between those two rocks.
No, and I think that probably wasn't the original call, but definitely a fantastic plan B. Not only did they kind of eliminate that blue stone that was back 12, but it forces Jeff to have to now make a peel. So Jeff's going to have to try and run his red stone back, try and get some things moving here and open things up for himself.
Randy Wenzik stone is on the way. Heel works, the blue sticks around, the red goes flying. So just hit there, so that leaves that guard at the front, which just doesn't really open things up much.
No, that's definitely not what he wanted for sure, Richard. He really wanted to. If you don't, it's okay if you leave the guard there. If you make the contact with the blue one onto red in the house, by not doing that and leaving everything the way it was, not a good situation for Team Richard right now. They've got some work to do.
Josh McKee with his second. What are they looking at here, Melissa, in terms of shot? Mickey's shot is on the way.
I think they're going to try and either come right in, and plan B would be short. They're okay if it comes up short. If the line's perfect, though, they'll take it right to the face of their red stone.
Meister Tanaka on it right away, sweeping hard here. And they're just going to let it settle short as you described it. Thumbs up from Kolomaya.
Yeah, great shot. No point in bringing another one in at this point. I think they're sitting pretty good in the ring. So by putting up a guard, you're forcing your opposition now to have to waste rocks by peeling.
Wenzik delivering his second stone. Playing second here for Team Richard. And he peels his off, getting rid of that red and moving one blue out of play and the other blue just to the top of the house there. Connor Dean sweeping it in.
That's a terrific shot. Number one job getting rid of both of those guards out front. That was the key. Almost got the blue one in. I don't know if it's biting, but that was a fantastic shot.
We're going to see Kolomaya's first throw here. Tanaka putting the bring down for him.
I think they're throwing the guard here again to try and force Team Richard to have to use another rock to try and peel.
Kolomaya in the hack. Ricky Meister behind him. Tanaka with the broom. Kolomaya's stone has been delivered. Meister just cleaning a little bit. Now he's on it a little bit harder. Ricky joins him now. On and off, on and off. And that's just where they wanted it there with that center line guard. Ricky trying to get it with a little late finish. A nice tight guard there by Kolomaya on his first one.
Yeah, you can see what's happening here by those great placements of those rocks by Team Kolomaya. It is forcing Team Richard to have to continue to peel. They have no opportunity here right now for any offense. It's really about trying to get out of this end without giving up a steal.
Stone is off, sweeper's on it. It's Dean moving around a bunch of stones.
Oh, wow. Just missed the one in the top four.
So red sitting two, and that second stone is right on top of the blue.
So it looks like yet another guard continue to put the pressure on Team Richard. Again, it's all about the rock placement here.
Lots of sponsors this week for the men's and women's provincial championships here in Esquimalt and Archie Browning. Thank you to Best Western, Beller Direct, Scotty's, the town of Esquimalt, Amicus Senior Lifestyles, Digital Direct Printing, Greater Victoria Sports Tourism Commission, Peninsula Co-op, Hardline Curling, and so many more. Stone off here by Kolomaya as he's just looking to put that guard up to protect the two they have sitting in the house now. They're cleaning it up a little bit, but they're going to let it settle. Pretty good position there, right?
Yeah, another nice placement there for Jared. But you can see here now the difference between this one and the previous one is this one's another foot or so out. Because of the way the ice curls, there's actually an opportunity for Jeff Richard and his team to access the one that's in the top of the four. Just a nice soft weight. He's probably throwing about backline weight, I would say, maybe a little less. Get to the face of the red stone or to the side of the red stone, roll in behind the guard, that red guard, and tap the red one out as far as you can. You might even be able to get across the red, but it's really tight.
Well, stone is off. Sweeping on it to curl. Connor Dean's on it. It sneaks by that first one. Looks like it moves that red right to the button. The blue's tucked in behind.
Wow.
Red's still sitting for sure one.
So plan B was okay. They got a perfect roll behind the red guard, but unfortunately didn't have enough weight to move the red stone out far enough. As you say, it's right on the button.
And our angle's a bit tough, but that red stone could still be sitting too, although that blue stone very well could be the second shot. Richard's taking a look at it right now.
And not telling us.
So Jeff tried to get a sense there. And what's the option here with Tanaka to get ready to throw his first to the third?
If red is sitting two, this stone does not need to be in the house. It needs to be probably max top 12, but just outside the rings on the left-hand side of the center guard or center line, pardon me. If they aren't second shot, there's a chance you might want to bring it in a little bit farther and split the center line.
Tanaka Stone on the way now. Right on it. Out of his hand, but easing off now. Meister is back on it.
Oh, this one has to curl still.
Trying to get it over there.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Settles on the center line. Now Richard's got decision making time with your coach. Jeff Richard having a conversation. Won't be able to see any of that right at the bottom. And there's not a lot of other rocks to be able to use to create some of those angles. There's the boot way up top. That's obviously something not to give at this point. What sort of shot are you looking at?
Well, it looks like Jeff is thinking that he can get through that tight port up there with enough weight to punch the shot stone back. And it probably does curl enough, but number one, you got to navigate a very tight port, and number two, you got to have enough weight just to tap that rock back. So this is a really, really difficult shot.
Jeff Richards out of the hat, delivering his first stone here in 3. 1-1 early on here, Kolomaya Richard. Sweepers are on it.
He's really close. Really close. What a shot. Incredible.
Beautiful shot by Jeff Richard there. And that's why he's one of the greats in this province, executing shots like that under pressure with his first and 3.
Yeah, brilliant shot. He threw that absolutely perfectly. Great weight, enough to get the roll in behind his own guard. Sitting 1, maybe 2. We're not 100% sure yet, but for Team Kolomaya, no option here. They need to draw to the forefoot.
Cody Tanaka in the house. Kolomaya puts that broom down. Stones off. Meister and Mickey on it. Kolomaya calling that sweep in.
Line is great.
Right around beautiful around that guard.
Fantastic. Fantastic curling by both of these teams.
Richard taking a look now. What sort of angles does he have? Now this is when that blue top comes into play, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing he's got right now is to play the angle run on that blue guard and try and just hit to the nose of the red one and at least score 2.
Jeff Richards about to settle into the hack. Down on C, Corey Chester has put up 1 with hammer in the 3rd. All the way down at the other end of the rink on A, Sebastian Robillard putting up 2 and 3 with hammer, so that makes it 2-2. But now back to Jeff Richard as he throws his final stone here in the 3rd. Rock is off, sweepers are on it. Renzik now by himself.
What a shot! Unbelievable.
So pokes that one out, and they're going to try to count, but it's for sure 2.
2 for sure, and they didn't measure, so they must know who was sitting 3rd. We'll just wait for the... What a brilliant shot by Jeff. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so Richard works towards that portal to begin with, and then sees something with that guard up there as they open that shot up at a beautiful angle. And the weight was so perfect there as well to execute that. We're waiting for a scoring crew there. I guess it's too late to go. So let's see what they put up first. Oh, we got people in the way. It's up. We just don't see it yet. Oh, it's a 3. So it is the 3. So that's a great end for Jeff Richard, is taking advantage. Two really good shots. That a lot of things got moved around in those middle stones, and being able to put the pressure now on Kolomaya early on the 3.
And what's interesting about that end is really weren't many misses, if any, I don't think. But it's just a matter of who made the right shot when, and you get a 3 out of nowhere. It was incredible. Two phenomenal shots by Jeff Richard.
So on to 4 now. They're coming towards us here at the Archie Browning Arena. Nick Meister with his first. The first stone from Richard Connor Dean ending up right at the top of the rings, but instead of taking it out, Kolomaya has decided to play some sort of corner guard here. What's the strategy here? Stone goes in play. What are they looking at here by putting up that?
Well, they definitely wanted a corner guard there, and unfortunately for Nick Meister, you saw him. Yeah, he was really not happy with himself that one came into the ring. So opportunity now for Connor Dean to hit and roll towards the center. So for Kolomaya, they definitely want to get the corner guards up. They definitely want to try for an aggressive 2, but when your first shot comes into the rings, there's not a lot you can do about it. So it's now a matter of whether Jared wants to throw up another corner or just maybe play it out.
Richard Zussman alongside Melissa Saligo. You're watching streaming coverage here of the BC Men's and Women's Curling Championship, third draw. Men's action here as part of the A draw. First time on the ice for these top 4 ranked teams, including Jeff Richards' rink on the ice here against Jared Kolomaya's rink. Meister with his second stone, Nick Meister. And it looks like they're just looking at that guard, but it came up way short. So,
yeah, two very uncharacteristic misses by Nick Meister. Very unfortunate.
So short of the hog line, goes out of play, and now Dan Wenzik with his first third stone in 4. And what are the shots here? With 2 in the house already. What are you looking at?
So he has 2 options. He can throw a center guard, or he can come in behind that one that's sitting in the top 12, which I think is what they've elected to do. When you're up a couple of points and you're sitting like you are right now, there's no need for guards. You know your opposition wants guards. You don't want to put up the guards.
Krell and Dean on it. Just going to sneak by. Woo! Tight on that one, sneaking by, and then they up just in the 4 for beautiful shot with nice late curl there as it snuck right by the guard. Still early, but interesting turn of events over on B. The Noble rink putting up a steal of 1 and 3. They're up over the defending champions, the top-ranked team in this tournament. Caitlin Schneider's rink, Alex Horvath, Sterling Middleton, Jason Ginter, along with Jack Oche, winning this event a year ago to go to Briar to represent BC. Mickey's stone is often tight on that guard again.
Yeah, it's a bit of a change of tactic here. They know they're in a little bit of trouble for Kolomaya. They can't really afford to throw another guard with 3 blue stones in the house. So they tried to play a little bit of a little freeze tap. Maybe tapped it a foot or so too much, but it is in a great position and does force Team Richard to have to make a play on it.
Dan Wenzik in the house communicating with Skip Jeff Richard. How much he can see is unclear, but obviously you can see a little bit of that red. Richard puts up right behind the guard, that blue stone at the top of the house.
Yeah, they're going to play the straight run back, I think. They could have picked it, but I think this looked like an easier of the 2 shots.
Not a lot you can see out of the house.
Gotta go hard on it, though. I think it's over curled. Oh, boy.
So he tries to run back, misses, rolls, still clinging on, but open things up a little bit there, but doesn't move that redstone sitting right close to the button. Josh Mickey now with his second here in 4. What are they looking at here?
It looks like they're playing a hit on this blue on that third shot. Maybe even hitting both of those blues out. I'm
Nice boots in that. They move 1. Richard Crow in the hack, getting ready to throw his first, the third for Team Richard. What are the options here?
Jeff just wants to eliminate one of the red stones, so he is definitely going to try and get rid of the red one. You could hit the shot stone, but that's really not the issue right now. You want to make sure that you don't leave any other red stones that are potential counters in the rings.
Stone on the hands of Richard Grell. Dean just cleaning it a little bit. Now he's sweeping a little bit harder. And then moves that red out, and the blue just settles. Clinging onto the house, it looks like, from where we are here, Archer Browning Arena in the Squamos. Host site here for the 2024 BC Men's and Women's Provincial Curling Championship. On the line and trip to the Scotties and the Briars. Scotties for the women's side. One draw going on right now. Women's Holly Valley's ranked up 3-1. Now in the hack, Tanaka with the broom. This is his first. The skip brewing 3rd stones. Kolomaya delivers. Rock out of his hands now.
Yeah, trying to draw away here. Richard trying to draw to the T line, kind of half tucked behind those 2 blue stones. And this one looks really light.
Nice to Mickey on it right away, and it's still curling. It's way outside and way short. Something might be changing out there on the ice as we've seen a few stones come up way short here in 4. As Richard leads 4-1 after that big 3 and 3rd.
So Team Richard's going to eliminate the red stone that's in the rings.
Richard Krell delivers, targeting that red stone. Connor Dean on it now. Trying to get it to curl, and it just catches the red. Beautiful shot, moving that one out. Blue now sitting 3. Kolomaya heading back to the hack. Very Tanaka quick to put the broom down.
So it looks like they're trying. Jared's going to try and draw around that guard that was just thrown in the previous one. Try and get fully buried behind there. He won't be shot stone, but the key is here that at least his second shot, and it's fully buried. So line crucial here.
It's curling. Mickey's on it, but leaves it now.
That's perfect.
We have some protection from that guard. Jeff Richard now heading down to throw his first in 4.
Jeff looks like he's going to follow him down and just throw enough to corner freeze, maybe a little tap, but definitely corner freeze that red stone just thrown by Jared.
Jeff Richard delivers his first in 4, leading 4-1. Both sweepers on it. Wenzek and Dean. Stones curling.
Trying to get by that guard, and I think they're going to be all over it, Richard. Just a little light, about 5, 6, 7 feet. And that's the third stone we've seen in that spot that's come up light.
Lots of curl there as it bites into that guard. Tanaka getting ready to go through his first, still down here at this end of the ring, having a look at it with Jared Kolomaya. So what are they considering here, Melissa, as they look at this first stone for Tanaka in the 4?
Well, they're trying to decide if they want to set themselves up for a potential 3. And the way you do that is you throw another rock around the blue guard that's out there. By doing that, however, you may not be setting first shot. You might be second and third. And if Jeff throws one, say top 8, then you have to make a double to get your 3. Can you do it? Absolutely. The other option is to freeze to the blue stone that's already there. But you probably would get a max of 2, maybe even be forced to 1. So this is an opportunity, difficult, but an opportunity to try and get your 3 here. Oh, looks like they might be changing their mind, though, after we had that conversation.
So Cody Tanaka going to pick up his throwing broom.
And I think when you're down by 3 points, Richard, you want to make sure that you at least get 2. You don't want to. It's not late enough in the game that you have to take such big chances. I think this is a smart call. Just play for your 2 right now. There's lots of game left.
Yeah, you're not winning the game in 4. And Cody Tanaka delivers that stone. Nick Meister on it.
Nice shot.
The nose hit moves that blue out of there, and red now sitting 2. With hammer here in 4 after giving up the 3 spot in 3. They're feeding along all the way at the other end of the rink on A as they're now in the 5th after a blank in the 4th. Skip stones on B and C, so anybody else scores there will give you an update. Noble currently leads 2-1 over Schneider. Chester and Forza tied up at 1. Richard up delivering his last stone here in 4. Dean off now, backing off. Wenzek on it, backing off. Good hit and moves that blue. But it looks like Cody Tanaka's going to have a pretty good look at this blue stone that gets back on that.
Yeah, they tried to get a roll a little bit farther over to remain shot rock and try and be buried, but didn't quite roll enough. So a pretty much open hit here, I think, for Cody Tanaka to get 2 points here in the 4th end.
So with some guard coverage there, you don't really have to move the blue that far. What sort of weight are you looking to throw here if you're Cody Tanaka?
I think they can throw a nice board weight here. You just want to make sure that you're throwing a weight that your sweepers are involved in it. Nothing too heavy, just enough that your sweepers can manage the stone. Nick Meister just trying to keep it straight all the way down, and it looks like a perfect shot.
Roy's got hit for 2. Gets back a little bit of what they lost in 3. 4-3 through 4 as Jeff Richard now keeps the hammer going the other way in 5. So a nice end is, things didn't look great starting out there for Kolomaya with a few missed shots early on in the end, but able to recover and put up that 2 in 4 to cut into that.
Right, and that all came down to a fabulous shot by Jared on his second one, getting in behind, and just a well, actually a miss by Jeff on his first, just coming up light. So that's all it takes. It just takes one rock from either team, and you get a half shot or a miss, and it's a big, big difference.
And although Richard had seen that ice in the previous shot, he was throwing that side of the ice for the first time tonight, and just overkilled a little bit, and a little bit light as he described. Nick Meister now throwing his first for Kolomaya rink in 5 as we work our way down to the other end of the ice. Pierce putting up 1 in 4, so it's 2-1. Brett Pierce leads over Corey Chester through 4. We're just putting up the score now as we are going into 5. We'll get you an update on that rink in a minute. Connor Dean throwing his first here after Nick Meister put up a guard just off the center line. Gatland Schneider able to score 2 and 4 to take a 3-2 lead over Team Milbert. Team Stone curling around there. It looks like it's going to be buried.
Yeah, it looks like a very good shot. Absolutely perfectly buried behind that guard. So Team Kolomaya now going to ask Nick Meister here to freeze right on top of that blue stone.
Meister stone out of his hands. Tanaka cleaning. Needs to curl here. Just clips that blue. Looks like it's going to be pretty open away from that guard.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of those situations, you never want to throw that extra foot of weight where you get that tick and roll off. It's such a touchy shot right there. You're better off to be a little bit light than a little bit heavy.
Connor Dean now throwing his second here in 5. By that guard. Wide open hit. And moves his a little bit. It looks like it's stacked right up against the other blue. As blue sitting 2 in behind that red guard. Cody Hall, one of the Ice Techs here, stopping by to steal some of the Sour Patch Kids that were on the broadcast table.
Share the wealth, Cody. Share the wealth.
That sort of sugar, he needs that sort of sugar after the hours he's put in over the last 96 hours. So making this ice looks fantastic here at Archie Browning Arena in the Stronghold. Josh Mickey with his first. Got a good look at those blues. He moves around both of them, but just clears one as the other blue stays his shot rock in the house. Or just in the top of the floor. Not as good as it used to be, Melissa, all the way at the other end of the rink here. Now we've got the glass up in the hockey rinks.
Yeah, that red one now fully open again, so chance here again for Team Richard. Dan Wenzik to hit and roll under again, maybe a little bit farther this time.
Wenzik delivers his stone. Connor Dean on it now, trying to get it to curl. Dean working hard on that rock, moves it a little bit, clears out that red and moves his just a little bit. Wenzik stone moving a little bit behind that car.
Yeah, and I think they probably wanted another couple inches of roll on there, so it looks like he's going to throw about bumper weight. Can actually probably over curl this top blue stone, get under the red and move the two blues. Definitely get rid of one. I'm not sure if he can get rid of the second.
Josh McKee delivering his second here in 5. Jeff Richard leads Jared Kolomaya's ring 4-3. Sweep on it. Mickey moves some stones around. Blue still sitting shot. One blue in the 4 foot. Red stone in the 8 open, and that's where Jeff Richard puts his broom for Daniel Wenzig's second here in 5. Jeff Richard coming into this one ranked 34th in Canada, third top ranked team in British Columbia. Wenzig delivers his rock. Richard awaiting it at the other end. Moves it around quite a bit, sliding that blue all the way across the house. Looks like blue sitting 2.
Yeah, the key there, that blue stone staying in the rings, that was number 1. They didn't want to roll out, but because it rolled so far, probably farther than they were looking, and there is a chance now for Jared to play the hit and roll on his shot on that one that's sitting top 8.
Cody Tanaka puts the broom down. Jared Kolomaya in the hack, getting ready to deliver. Kolomaya slides. Meister on it now. Off. Mickey on it now. Sweeping all the way to Tanaka's broom. Moves that stone back. Replaces it. Sitting one just in the 8 foot. Jeff Richard setting up here for what he's looking at for Richard Krell's first throw in the 5th end. Jeff Richard leads 4-3. Krell delivers. Dean and Wenzig beside him. Just going to try to move that red. Wenzig sweeping hard, lets it go now. And they move that red out of the house and blue all the way. So they've split up those blues. House wide open, but blue sitting 2 here in 5. As Jared Kolomaya throwing forward stones. His second in the 5th end. Cody Tanaka setting up the broom to hit on the stone that's currently sitting shot. Taylor Reese Hansen cutting into the lead over on D. Trails 3-2. Squaring off against Holly Valley. Kolomaya flying out of the hack. Big weight. Sweepers aren't on it. Tanaka likes what he's seeing here as he hits that blue and sticks around. Red now sitting what it looks like from our angle, although that red and the blue quite far from the button there. Jeff Richard putting the broom down for Richard Krell. Krell throwing third. His second shot here in 5. Richard calling for curl. Dan Wenzig on it now. Dean watching. Wenzig on it hard. Going right to the stone with it and gets it right on the nose of the red rock and moves it around the house. Really split up wide as Cody Tanaka and Jared Kolomaya having a discussion about what they're going to attempt to execute here. Still 2-2 all the way at the other end of the arena. As they're getting right near the end in 5 on sheet A. Robiar and DeYoung tied up at 2. Catlin Schneider's rink up 3-2 over the Nobert rink. And it's 2-1 Brett Pierce over Corey Chester's rink over on C. Those are all the men's matches going on right now. Right here in front of us, our feature match, Cody Tanaka delivers a stone, hit and rolls. The red looks like it's just clinging. Oh no, it's out of the house there, the red. So blue sitting one. Just trying to get a best sense here of what is going to come up here is Jeff Richard glides his way down to deliver his first stone in 5. Jeff Richard, obviously one of the most experienced players here in the field. 3 Briars, 2010, 18, and 21. Won BC Provincial Championships as a skip back in 2010. Also the BC Junior Champion in 1997 and 1999. Jeff Richards delivers his first stone in 5 with hammer, leading 4-3 over Jared Kolomaya. Goes it right to the back of the rings. Those stones are still spread out almost as far as you can get them in the house. Those 2 blue stones. With Cody Tanaka set to throw his final stone here in 5. As we get ready for the break. Cam DeYoung, the applause you hear there is for Cam DeYoung, who just put up 2 in 5 to take a 4-2 lead. As Cody Hall, after his Sour Patch Gummy break, heads down to put the ice down on sheet A. Rock is on the way. Tanaka's final throw. Flips that blue and tucks in behind, but Jeff Richard now is going to be looking at a hit for 2. They did the best they could with that stone, try to move it behind the guard, but with those rocks so far spread out, not a lot of options for Cody Tanaka. So Jeff Richard is quick to decide on that hit. The clearly simplest shot here as they look to execute. Jeff Richards delivers now. Richard throw with the broom down. Richards' final throw in 5. Richards leads 4-3, looking to put 2 more up on the board. Sweepers on it hard. Hits it and moves it. That's a 2 for Jeff Richard. Jeff Richard up 6-3 now after putting up 2 on the board here in 5. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to try to get a new microphone, and we're going to be back fresh just like the ice after we take our break here in 5 as we continue coverage of the BC men's and women's provincial championships here at Orchard Ground in Scotland.
Amazing. Absolutely. Aaron got some water.
Like a bottle? Are you going for someone?
I was going to fill this sucker up. Do we have anything?
Just reminding you. Brother, you know I can't draw. All I can do is this.
Man, I cannot see those.
Maybe I'll let Lynn go fly. Sarah, just it. We're back on our new defense journey.
As long as we're ready. I've been there a couple.
You know, last year in Kilowak, it was just like, to get a busy end and to keep the rocks away. Like, 30 seconds was one wall rocks were still coming in. The score wasn't on the board. It was last year in Kilowak. No,
It wasn't, yeah, it was happening last year.
It was happening last year.
Yeah. New year, new
I've had a couple of years where as soon as that 5 minutes is up, where you're in the half knot, or half, it's like,
Welcome back. Richard Zussman here. I'm taking over. We're having some audio problems. So Melissa's going to do some technical work and up the feature match. Jeff Richard against Jared Kolomaya in the sixth end here. The ice has been cleaned. Nick Meister throwing his first in the sixth end. Sorry for the technical challenges here as we work our way through the first day of the BC Men's and Women's Provincial Championships. Each day you can log on curlbc.ca and do your daily 50-50. Get your 50-50 tickets at curlbc.ca/daily 50-50. Funds raise support curling here in Greater Victoria. Lots of opportunities to get your 50-50 if you come down here to the rink. Archie Browning, great curling action. Draws at 9, 2, and 7 right through Saturday. And then the finals, 9 o'clock Sunday. The women, the Scottish champion will be crowned, and the BC men's champion will be crowned at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Streams will carry you right through Friday. And then Czech and CBC Gem takes over on the weekend as we start to get the rocks positioned in the sixth end. Apologies again for the technical difficulties as we're getting the cobwebs out for the beginning of the provincial championship. Will Sutton and Melissa Saligo had you all day long on the streams. We'll be back tomorrow. I will join you again on Thursday here from Art Browning. Nick Meester now with his second, trying to get that rock to curl. As it just sneaks by and slides out. Jeff Richard sweeping it to the back of the 8-foot. Just biting between that white and red. Jeff Richard puts the broom down. First stone on the way from Daniel Wenzik. Sweepers are off it. Richard monitoring the situation. Now calls both sweepers on right away. Dean and Krell both on it. As they work there, blue trying to get it right to touch the back red. And it does on the center line. Blue sitting too early here in 6. Jeff Richard up 6-3. Scan across ice surfaces. Cam DeYoung still leads 4-2 through 5. Catlin Schneider leads the Nobert rink. Oh no, it's all tied up at 3. Nobert put up 1 in 5 with hammer. Schneider with hammer in 6. All tied up at 3. And Corey Chester putting up a big 2 and 5 to go to the break with a 3-2 lead. They're back in action there. Top 4 seeds in this one are Schneider 1, Pierce 2, Richards 3, and DeYoung 4. First time on the ice for those teams. All the other 4 teams that are playing on the men's side won earlier today to have a chance to play here as they continue along in the A side of this bracket in a quest to win the BC Provincial Championship. Back to our action here as Dan Wenzik in the hack getting ready to throw his second. Richards is just looking to tack that guard. Dan Wenzik, second stones for Team Richard. Wenzik's on the way. Moves that red, but it takes a wild bounce, deflecting back into the house and picking the one back out at the end. Fun angles of curling there as it works its way all the way back into the house. Can't do the damage on the blue, so blue still sitting 2. As Richard sitting 2 early here in the 6th. Josh Mickey with his second. Kolomaya with hammer in 6, trailing 6-3. Mickey following it all the way down the ice. Beautiful throw as it's going to stack right on top of the blue. Blue still sitting shot rock. Moving along quickly here In the sixth end, Richard Krell with his first. Coming flying out of the hack, big weight. Going after that red at the back of the house. Moves both. Gets that blue out of play, also takes out the red. Just clears up that stone at the back of the house. Jared Kolomaya skips this team, throws third rocks, throwing his first. Strategy now is to go after that blue, it looks like. Tanaka puts the broom down. Kolomaya stone in play, sweepers on it, driving that rock back, keeping the line straight. Crashes that blue back on the red stone. Red sitting one. The two blues still in play as it wrecks on the back. Richard taking a look at what he's got here. We think Melissa's back in play. Melissa, can you hear me? We'll see how we go with this. I can see Melissa's talking. I can't hear her through my headphones. Connor Dean hard on the sweep. Kolomaya with his second in 6. Tanaka, broom down. Trying to take out that blue. Looks like the stone's a little bit outside what they called for. Mickey on it. It's curling. And it's just going to stay right there. Good throw. Great shot. Red sitting 2. But again, in this end, those stones really split apart. And Jeff Richard getting ready to throw his first in 6.
stones here at 7 o'clock opportunity. Thank our sponsors, Miss List Willow Direct, Scotty's, the Town of Esquimalt, Amica Senior Lifestyles, Digital Direct Printing, Peninsula Co-op, Hardline Curling, Greater Victoria Sports Tourism Commission, Canadian Tire, Elements Casino, Black Press Media, the Park Company, Seven Firefighter Charitable Foundation. This first year is the Guardians.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
You are back. This is Legos here. Richard Zussman, let us know in the comments how things sound as we work through some of these audio challenges. Thumbs up on these, so let us know how it sounds.
Richard, how about now? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. How about me?
I can hear you, no problem.
All right, here we go. We're
All
back in
right,
business
here we go.
here in 765. Melissa was here. She didn't miss anything. We were just having some problems with the headsets, but we're all sorted out now. So thank you, Melissa, for the good work to get things all sorted out as we get ready. We're curling here in 7 as Nick Meister throws his second stone.
All right, here we go. Glad to be here, and I'm here for the last few ends, which is the most important, anyways. Richard.
Yeah, and you've already put in a lot of curling today. So those listening to the stream appreciate you for sure, and you're gonna have a lot of streaming ahead of you over the next few days as we head towards the finals on Sunday. Interesting end, the last end. The last two have been interesting as we've seen those rocks really split, and the team with the hammer able to control that situation and set up the two back in 5, and then again here for Kolomaya in 6. So trading off twos, which is at this point, I think something that Jeff Richard would be happy to do to get us right at the end. If he can keep putting up twos, then he'd be in good place here to move on to the next round. Triple elimination tournament. This is the A flight. The winner will move on to face the winner of Pierce Chester. The loser will head down to the B, and they will go to face Fenton in draw 4 tomorrow morning.
Yeah, so lots of great action here for sure still, and this is all about trying to maintain scoring points when you have hammer, just based on the fact that Team Richard has a slight lead now just because they got that 3. So exchanging twos is good, and Jeff would be very happy with that. However, Jared's going to try his best to force Jeff Richard to have to take a single here at one point with the hammer to try and get back even in this game.
Also, the way the hammer's lined up here will give Kolomaya a chance, if there's no blanks, to have that hammer coming into 10, which I think, all skips want to have that hammer coming down the last end with an opportunity at least to know what you have in front of you to have a chance to win.
Exactly. That is such a great point. And Jeff Richard not probably realizing exactly that, not going to take any chances here. Definitely wants to double out these two center guards if he can. Try and clear things open in the house.
Dan Winzik flying out of the hack, delivering his stone now. Sweepers ease off it. Now Connor Dean's on it. Moves one.
Oh, what a shot.
Clears that one out there as Red sits shot.
The key on that shot for sure, Richard, was getting rid of both of those red center guards. That was number one. It's would have preferred your shooter probably to roll off, but it ended up in a very good position, kind of off to the side. So Team Kolomaya now going to try and throw another center guard here, I believe.
Josh Mickey delivering that one. Sweepers on it right away, going after that blue stone at the back of the house. Hits it and moves just a little bit there. It clears out one of those Richard stones at the back of the house.
Yeah, good call there. My apologies. I thought he was maybe going to try and go a little bit more aggressive, but eliminating second and third stone is really important, obviously, for Jared. Does not want to give Team Richard an opportunity to get a multiple point end here.
Jeff Richard putting that broom down. Dan Wenzik delivering the stone. Going after that red stone we just saw, and he's just on the outside of it, so it looks like a peel that's going to take both those stones out.
Yeah, you definitely want to hang around there
Some
for sure.
updates from around the ring.
Yeah, just saying, if you're Team Jeff Richard, you wanted to hang around in the rings for sure. But with that rollout, it does give Jared Kolomaya the opportunity now to throw that center guard that I talked about in the previous shot.
Kolomaya now delivering his stone. Tanaka keeping that broom down right where they want it to go. Sweepers are easing off it. Now they get down. Mickey and Meister on it. Driving that rock into the house. How far can they get it? Just settle that guard right on the center line. Looking around the rink, Robillard put up a 1-6, 4-3 DeYoung leads over on A. On B, still 3-3 there as they are waiting to put up a score. They've just finished that one. We'll wait for the score to be put up in the sixth end. Brent Pierce scores 2 and 6, leads Corey Chester 4-3 early on in the seventh there. And Taylor Reese Hansen, a massive steal of 3 in 5 to take a 5-3 lead over Holly Hefeli. Jared Kolomaya getting in the hack here in 7 for his second.
So it looks like he's going to throw that center guard again. Richard, you saw the previous shot, and Jeff Richard and his team tried to peel it and roll the blue one onto the rings, but it didn't quite do it. So another center guard here by Jared. Again, trying to find a way to force Jeff to have to take a single here.
Kolomaya following his stone down the ice. Meister on it now and lets it curl right to the center line. It settles right there. Nice shot by Jared Kolomaya to set up that guard. Richard Krell, second stone here in 7. Jeff Richards down in his crouch to get a look at the angle of this.
Got lots of room by that guard if they can ever get it to curl the last couple of feet there. Didn't quite curl enough and does jam it on the back one. So a bit of a mistake there for Richard Krell and Team Richard.
So opening up that opportunity to protect, just to give up that one, which opens up more options for Jared Kolomaya here as they get into the later ends.
Yeah, so the shot here now for Cody Tanaka, no question about it, would like to get behind the center guard. Top 4, even top button, but most important here is line. He doesn't want to give Jeff Richard a chance to have access to this shot.
They've put the score up down on B, and it's another point for Nobert over Schneider. And we're still got lots of curling to go, but this could be a fascinating upset as Schneider coming into this tournament as the top ranked team. But they'd be first to tell you that, this season has not gone as well as they would have hoped for as the defending champions of British Columbia. Obviously, that switch at the skip position, and we'll see them a bunch, I'm sure, in the stream over the next few days. But, a loss tonight would be a big blow as they look to try to defend this BC title. Again, still very early, but Nobert leads 4-3. Schneider with hammer and 7. All right, Jeff Richard taking a look at what he gets. Focus back here on what we've got. So, Melissa, when you look at what's set up here on the other end, what sort of options does Jeff Richard have?
I think Jeff can probably see about, I'd say, good solid 3/4 of the red. Maybe going to play a softer weight. I don't think he can hit roll under, but he can maybe hit what he can see of that redstone and try and run it back on the other redstone that's in the back 8 foot. We'd love to get them both just moving ever so slightly.
Richard delivers the stone. Richard Krell with the broom down, sweeping hard. Dan Wenzig is going after this one. It just can't get it past that guard, and it crashes and opens things up, but not what they were looking for.
No, just a bit of a mistake, and you saw Dan Wenzig pound that right from pillar to post. So, unfortunately for Jeff, wasn't able to get access to that one. So now for Jared, last stone here for Cody Tanaka. Again, their end plan was to force their opposition to a single. So how you do that is you make sure you hit the open blue stone, lie 3, and Jeff has to decide how he wants to play for his 1.
Tanaka delivering the stone towards that blue. Kolomaya down in his crouch. Meister and Mickey off it for now. Mickey now finishing it, and it's going to move just a little bit there. Nice shot to set 3. Taking the high percentage play, but a little bit of a roll. Obviously, if they were able to move it right behind that top red, it would have made Jeff Richards' shot a little bit tougher, but now he has a few options. What are you looking at when you see that setup there for red?
It looks like he's just going to throw maybe a T-line back 4 weight, just come to the face of the red stone that didn't quite roll under as far as they wanted it to. Thing here, though, you got to make sure you take enough ice, and again, if you take that kind of ice, you don't want to overthrow it. Obviously, you can't go anywhere near that one that's top 8, or you're giving up a steal of 3. So you're playing this on the wide side here, but this is all about ensuring you get by that one in the top 8 first.
Full sweepers are on it. Dean and Wenzik giving it as hard as they can go, driving that stone back. They're off it now.
Oh, they almost overswept it, but it looks really good. Perfect shot.
There we go. Right on the nose. Clearly there was something they weren't so sure about there, but delivering the shot. Jeff Richard putting up his 1 here in 7 as Jeff Richard takes a 7-5 lead as we get ready for 8 end here. You can join us all week long down here at Archie Browning Arena in Esquimalt. Men's and women's action. Tomorrow we'll be back at it at 9 o'clock in the morning as we have the B side of the men's division. So the losers today will head to the ice, all of them tomorrow morning. And on the women's side, Afeli will be back on the ice alongside Ryan. And then defending champion on the women's side, Clancy Grandy. The next time she'll be on the ice will be tomorrow night at 7. And Corinne Brown, the highest ranked women's player in the field, ranked 6th in Canada right now. She'll be up against Taylor Reese Hansen tomorrow at 2. So some world-class curlers here in Esquimalt battling for the BC title as we're underway here in 8. We're down to Skip Rocks, down over on C with Brent Pierce, so we should get a score update there. As that stream is also available here on Curl BC without commentary, as we pick up the action here on E with Jared Kolomaya doing what he needed to do, holding Jeff Richard just to 1 as he tries to get his deuce in the 8th end.
So very, very important 8th end, as we all know. This is 2 hammers to 1 if you score when you have the hammer. So for Jared, he's got to go a little bit on the aggressive side to try and get his deuce here. He really wants to get 2 on the board. And so that's the only way they do that, is to try and throw these corner guards and actually try and use them on the next shot. Not play to the middle, but try and play to the wings. So we'll see what he does here once Connor throws another one here towards the middle. I think they might be throwing this short. This first one did overcurl about a foot.
Just trying to get this one across the hog line. They do. Krell and Wenzik still driving hard on this, and it's going to settle on the center line to guard that rock already in the house.
So what's great about that shot is not only did it guard the one that's obviously in the top 4, but it's actually taken the path away for Team Kolomaya to use their corner guard at all. So that corner guard really is no factor at the moment. So no option here now, but for Nick Meister to corner freeze to that blue stone.
Nick Meister's delivered the stone. Cody Tanaka cleaning it up for him. Tanaka driving, trying to get it past. Lots of room past the guard. They need it to curl to get right to the face. Nice shots.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
Nick Meister settling his right on top of that blue stone. Jeff Richard plotting their next shot. Dan Wenzik, his first stone in 8, out of his hand. Full sweepers on it right away. Krell and Dean.
Tolerance here is on the lighter side, so if they can't get to freeze on the red one, they'll keep it short, but they have dragged this a long way, Richard. Wow, great brushing.
Ice is changing out there. They're judging the speeds, and you're seeing the involvement of the sweepers has gone way up here, but great work by Krell and Dean to drive that rock almost right to the face to stack those 3 up. Make it a little bit harder to move things around.
Yeah, so not a lot of options here now. Kolomaya recognizing that he's in a tiny bit of trouble here midway through this end. So just asking Joss if he can peel off this blue one, but just with a lighter weight to try and roll over to a corner guard. Would like to actually have the 2 corners by the end of the shot.
Meister on it. Drives that corner guard out, and it gets off the center line a little bit. So Jeff Richards pointing at Bullstones there. What's he thinking here with the shot?
He really wants to try and double peel those 2 corners. That's a great shot there by Josh on his last one. So Jeff now seeing that his opposition has 2 corners up, which was the ultimate goal. Ideally, he would like to remove both of them from play. Key is to get 1 for sure, but definitely trying to get both.
Dan Wenzik has shown that big weight all night long, and once again he tries it, just missing that double peel as it clips the red stone. And Dean just trying to get that blue as far out of play as he can get it so they don't have any more corner guards to play behind.
Exactly. Exactly.
Josh McKee now with his second in 8.
And Jared just trying to determine which is the best way to come, the in turn or the out turn. And they have elected for Josh, a right-hander, to come with the in turn, pardon me. Trying to get fully buried behind that red stone.
McKee delivers. Guys right off it here. It's going to let it curl. Now, Nick Meister on it.
Oh, this looks like it had a little extra weight on it. Good call by Jared by touching that blue stone to take the weight off.
Just chips it and ends up. Looks like they can have a good look at that red. Jeff Richard goes right to it. Richard Krell throwing his first here in 8.
And I probably see a good 7/8 of this stone. So you're going to throw a nice soft weight. Let your brushers help it down the ice here. And at the very end, could give it an opportunity to make the final curl. You'll see Connor now trying to get this one to curl right up.
Connor Dean working hard on the sweep.
Oh, boy.
Chips that red, but puts it in a bad spot there, right behind the stack.
Horrible spot. I think the weight was okay, Richard. I just not sure what happened there. It didn't. They weren't panicking on it till about halfway down when Connor was trying to get it to curl. So huge mistake there, and opening here now for Jared Kolomaya.
Kolomaya and Tanaka discussing their options while they have a chat. We'll update you on the scores across the other sheets. Brent Pierce stealing 1 in 7, leads 5-3. Corey Chester has hammer in 8. Score remains 4-3. Nobert over Schneider. They are in 7 over on sheet B, and over on A, 4-3 right now. Lots of action going on the house there as the Skips are getting ready to throw rocks in 7. Looks like we've got the speediest match of the night here on E. Making quick work. As Kolomaya gets settled into the hack to deliver his first in 8. What are we looking at here, Melissa?
I think I'm not sure what kind of weight he's throwing, but it looks like he's going to be trying to move things around a little bit. So ideally, you got to watch the blue one going back on his red stone, but if he can just try and separate those stones, he'll have a chance, hopefully later, to get things going a little bit more. So ideally, trying to get a multiple score here. Trying to get, that was the worry that blue one was going to go right on the back one. I think it was lined up the entire way, so not sure. And both angles now are really, really good for Jeff Richards. Not a good result there for Team Kolomaya.
Richard sitting 1 with his right firmly on top of the red stone. Because things moved around so much, Richard's actually calling Richard Krell down from the other end of the ice. You can see him now coming all the way down here to take a look. Jeff Richard may be looking for a little bit of advice to have a chat about what they're looking at. As Richard Krell will be delivering his second once they make this decision on what to throw. What sort of options are they looking at?
So one option is we saw Jeff decide to maybe peel the red stone and try and catch that back red stone that's over in the back 12. That's one option. Maybe roll in front. The other option is a straight guard. You're sitting perfectly buried, and those 2 stones that are in front of your shot stone really aren't have a good angle to come back. So if you throw a guard, I'm not sure what they do. I like the guard option. You could also hit the blue one that's sitting in the top 8 and just get rid of another red stone, but you will group your stones if you do that.
I brought the whole team now. Dan Wenzik, Connor Dean, Richard Correll, Jeff Richard, all here having a chat about what sort of options they're looking at, discussing those very options Melissa just laid out for you. You can see trying to discuss those different grouping of stones, what sort of weight they're going to throw into here. Even the guard Connor Dean throwing is a suggestion, as Kolomaya needs to try to put multiples up on the board, trailing by 2 with hammer in 8. Change over on B. Catlin Schneider putting up 2 in 7. Norbert trails 5-4 but has the hammer in 8.
I'm not sure if they've elected to throw the guard with that weight, Richard, or if they're actually trying to come around the red stone. It's pretty tight for the come around, I think. I kind of like the guard here, but I think if you throw the guard, Jeff's also thinking that they may beat you around everything and get to the button first. So we'll just have to have a look and see here if they're trying to get around that red guard, or if they're actually throwing their own guard. Yeah, there you go. There's throwing their own guard, trying to protect shot stone. I like this call a lot. I think this makes the most sense right now. Force your opposition to a
Connor Dean.
Yep. And this one's got to curl a ton.
And it settles right there on the center line. Not over far enough really to be much of a guard for those top 2. So we'll see what Jared Kolomaya can see when he gets back down there in the hack.
Yeah, that needed to curl a good another foot. So based on the fact that you can see all of the blue stone on red, I believe Jared is going to throw a T-line tap, blue onto red, and tap it right to the button. And it's not about, you definitely want to tap it to the button, but it's also about how you leave your shooter. You don't want to create the same angle that they're at now. So you actually want to get to the nose of that blue stone and change the angles on those 2 front rocks.
Kolomaya delivers his stone sweepers on it right away. Meister and Mickey.
This is way over curling. It's actually going to bump the blue center guard. Wow.
You wonder how much is the ice changing? Are nerves coming into play here? Because we're starting to see some inconsistencies with these rocks. Mistakes that we didn't see early in this game. It's been a really clean game. Lots of well-executed shots, but we're starting to see some of those mistakes come in, and it could be... What sort of factors do you think may be at play here as we assess these shots that are being thrown?
Well, it's really interesting. I mean, we saw a couple misses with the other turn on this side of the sheet. Now, remembering that this side of the sheet is next to the stands, but there isn't a lot of heat coming off the stands right now, so there shouldn't be a whole bunch of change going on the ice surface. And, it was almost a draw to the button path, but it was a little bit tighter than that. So even a difference of an inch or 2 inches of the broom is a massive difference in the path of the rock. So he might have just thrown it a little bit light and it picked up the curl pretty quick. But that's for them to discuss, right? And they got to make sure that they figure out what went wrong there.
Jeff Richards delivers his stone. Dean on it. Wenzik standing by. Now they're both on it. Richard Krell down in the crouch. Wenzik, Dean driving hard as they're just going to leave that guard that they were hoping to throw in the last one, and it's right in the spot they needed this time. Decision time now as Cody Tanaka gets set to throw his first stone. What sort of shots, Melissa, do you think they're looking at here as they line things up here for Cody Tanaka's first?
Well, they're going to try and run something in, I think. And if they do, unfortunately for Kolomaya, again, the angles are not in their favor whatsoever. Jared kind of maybe said, is there an out-turn draw to the tee line, to the 4-foot to get shot rock? There might be. But no matter what they run in and what they hit of the 2 blue ones, that red stone that's right in behind those blues is gone.
Yeah.
So their best option here is if they don't want to draw is try and open up that area somehow and maybe have some better access to the forefront. Right now, there's not a really good way to score if you're Team Kolomaya.
Yeah, so they're going to move some things around. With Hammer, they want to try to put the 2 up on the board, and those options are looking limited at this point. You'll hear those cheers. Big shot by Paul Cheka, the third with Corey Chester. The Islanders, as they're sitting 2 here in 8 on sheet C, trailing 5-3 with Hammer. Back to our rink, Cody Tanaka delivering now. Big weight coming at it to run this red back. Moves lots around, but the blue still sitting shot, but moved a little bit around at the front of the house.
Yeah, and again, I don't think they left themselves a great angle. I believe that redstone that's kind of near the center line is still above the blue one and almost can't get by it. I think it's still in the blue stone's still in the way. So that you can see Jeff and Richard right now just having a look at what angle is left for Team Kolomaya right now.
So you're thinking, Richard Krell now suggesting maybe you guard. That they're looking at what options there are, and they're not happy, so they call the timeout because they want to get a closer look at this. So talk me through the types of shots. As we know that Kolomaya has Hammer here, but obviously those reds up top are what are concerning Richard Krell and Jeff Richard now at this point, that if they guard a draw, then Kolomaya can try to take advantage of those redstones.
Right, and keeping in mind here that I believe there's only 1 stone left for each team. So right now, is there a way that Team Richard is discussing not about what they want to do, but what does Kolomaya have to get more than 1 on the board? And right now, I really don't see anything, Richard. They may have a tap or a run to potentially get 1. I don't think that rock in the back 4 is going very far at all. So what shot do they want to take away from Cody Tanaka on his last one? So I really like what they're doing here. Sometimes we talk about the best defense is offense. So if they can ever come around those red guards and get to top 4, that would be ideal. They'd be sitting 2 behind cover. You saw Daniel, I think it was, tap the top 12. You got to think about tolerance here. The only thing you don't want to do is be deep. So if you're top 4, fabulous. Right. If you're top 8, top 12, okay, no worries. But you don't want to be deep and given out to Cody Tanaka.
Richard in the hack. Richard Krell, broom down. Jeff Richard set to deliver. Stone is on its way. Sweeper's on it. Off it now. Dan Wenzix on it now. So is Connor Dean. They're trying to sneak by that guard. They're by it. Beautiful shot as it curls, but and it's a little bit deeper than I think, as you described. They wanted it, but now Cody Tanaka, an opportunity, I think, only to draw it in there or to maybe use that blue as backing. But you've got to beat that other blue that's biting right on the 4.
Yeah, and it's interesting actually that I think Jared swept it back so it wasn't a second shot. However, you want to also leave it in a spot that you can just draw to it. And if you're a little bit heavy and you come to the face of it, you're shot stone. So we can't tell from up here. It's very, very close. But this is a pretty much a straight shot or straight draw to the tee line to try and get your single point.
Cody Tanaka out of the hack, delivering the stone. Meister and Mickey over top of it. Meister working hard. Mickey's now on it. Past the tee line. They needed to get past those guards, and it's just going to over curl and come up way short. Steal a 1 for sure. And that makes it, I think they've settled on the 1, and that makes it 8-5 through 8. I think they're talking about something down there. I don't know if it's whether it's time to shake hands or, but they're heading back out for 9 here as Cody Tanaka is coming up short there on that draw.
I wonder if they were discussing, was it 2 points maybe? And I'm not sure. If it was 2 points, they were probably discussing whether to shake hands for sure. If it's only 1, you're definitely playing 9.
They moved those stones so quickly. The official
They
came
did.
out. And so I think it was so close that they would have had to have measured by moving it right away. I think they concede it's 1. So off we go. 8-5 to score now as Jeff Richards got his broom now. Kolomaya was chasing it, and there seemed to be some openings there, and they just weren't able to take advantage, and then ending up with what was a tough draw, and judging that ice with those 2 guards up top, challenge for Cody Tanaka.
Exactly. You're always trying to follow your opposition down. That's what they say, just follow your opposition down. But, you never throw the same as your opposition. So it's always a tough shot, always a tough thing to do. And unfortunately for Cody, just was maybe a little bit light and a little bit tight and was unfortunately not able to get it.
Turn of events over down on A. Sebastian Robillard steals 2 in 7, leads 5-4 over Cam DeYoung. The 4th and 5th ranked teams coming into this tournament here in the province, squaring off. Winner moves on in the A side, loser goes down to B. A great battle over in C as well. Corey Chester putting up 2 in 7, 2 and 8, 2 and 8. So it's 5-5 with Brent Pierce with hammer in 9. Lots of great curling going on tonight. And on the women's side of things, Holly Affelli and Taylor Reese-Hansen tied at 5 over on sheet D, right beside us here on E, as the first stone from Connor Dean, or second stone, sorry, for Connor Dean is on its way down the ice now.
Yeah, first one, top 4, great place. And then a corner guard put up by Team Kolomaya. And the second shot of Connor's, I'm not exactly sure. It might have just been a little heavy, hung out, and actually pumps the red guard into the rings. But hopefully no harm, no foul at this point. Still early.
Kolomaya talking strategy down to the other end of the rink. Pretty nice crowd out here tonight at Archie Browning, as we expect the crowds keep grow through the week. Make sure you pop by and come pay us a visit. Lots of tickets available throughout the week, and 9 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 7 o'clock, all week long, right up until Sunday, when we'll have women's finals at 9 and men's finals at 2 on Sunday. And another one failing to make the hog line there. Second time we've seen that from the Kolayama team. Dan Wenzik with his first stone here in 8.
He's playing the peel. Oh, what a shot. Peeling his own, which you never want to do. It's called peel of shame sometimes. But most importantly, catches the red stone that was in the rings.
Just keep that house clean. Oh, it was a steal of 2 and 8. So they were so quick. Obviously, it's tough for us to see even right above it here, but so a 9-5 lead now that they've put the score up. And it's a bit surprising to me how quick they were to judge it, but obviously they get a much better look when you're right down on top of it. So Kolayama has the hammer, but he's looking at a massive deficit now of 4, running out of options really, with curling in the middle part here of the ninth.
Yeah, and that makes sense, Richard, that they had that discussion of whether they wanted to continue it. 4 points against a team that's playing outstanding right now. And It's a tough hill to climb.
But triple eliminations, so they'll have an opportunity tomorrow. If this ends up staying the way it goes, they will head down to. Let's see how good I am with this. B4. So they'll square off. The loser of this one will face Dang tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning as part of that B side of the bracket. It's been interesting so far. Oh, other than Chester over Montgomery is the only upset from the early matches in terms of the pre-tournament rankings. But they came into this one with a lot of confidence. Corey Chester obviously winning a mixed doubles championship. You and I were there at the Victoria Curling Club in December. He skipped this team, a change that rink made mid-season. We've seen a bunch of changes amongst these teams, but that one of the most prominent. Cheka going to third, Chester going to skip, and so far hanging tight with Brent Pierce. Their 5-5 is their curling in 9. Back on our feature match here, they're clearing out those cards. Richard happy to just move things around to try to keep that house. The only thing that could go very wrong for him is to give up a bunch here in 8s. He'd be happy with, even a 2-point lead in hammer heading into the 10th.
100%, exactly. So just keeping everything as clean as possible. As Jeff doesn't need any more points to win this game. He just needs to make sure that he eliminates all opposition stones at this point.
Kolomata's first on the way down. Settles right there as a guard on the center line. They're speeding through this 9th end. Krell's second. And again, just going to peel that guard. And it is Richard that's sitting 1. Kolomaya will throw his second with hammer. Skip throwing third rocks. Kolomaya stone out of his hands. Sweepers on it, both of them. Meister and Mickey. Meister now solo. Trying to drive that red right to the face of the blue. And he does. A little bit short, but nice throw by Jared Kolayama.
Jeff Richards going to be really happy to get rid of this stone. If he happens to hit his own too, that is fine. He would rather just pick it though and leave the blue stone sitting in the top 4. It's in such a great position.
Kolomaya with running at options here as he discusses what's next with Tanaka at the other end as he watches Jeff Richard throw big weight coming out of the hack. Gonna hit that stone. Hits it right on the face, moves everything around. Beautiful shot by Jeff Richard. And that's it. They're just going to shake hands after that one. And it seemed all end long. I don't think they were convinced they wanted to finish that one. So that's it. 9-5. Jeff Richard wins, moves on. He will face tomorrow the winner of Corey Chester, Brent Pierce. You can jump on to the other stream and have a watch of that one as we're curling in the 9th there. And Melissa, before we say goodbye, any final thoughts on what we just saw in front of us here?
Just outstanding play by Jeff Richards' team. If they can do that for the rest of this week, we will see them in the final weekend in the top 4 for sure. But Jared Kolomaya and his team did play really, really well. Just the last couple of ends, we just saw a few mistakes. And with a team that's playing so well like Jeff Richard, you can't afford to even make the slightest of mistakes.
All right, so Lots of opportunities to come down here and visit us here at Archie Browning in the Esquimalt. And Melissa will be back with you tomorrow morning here on Curl BC, and I will be back on Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry for the audio problems. We will have those all worked out for the rest of the week, and we will see you again tomorrow.